What's up YouTube? In the last video I promised you that I would show you how to simplify root 50, and I'm going to keep my promise this video by showing you how to do that. Before we simplify root 50 you need to see this rule here. Okay, so this is our surd. Root 36 times 2, it can go to this. Root 36 times root 2. If you want to be able to do surds, this is really the most important step. Root 100 times 3, well, we can turn root 100 times 3 under one root into root 100 times root 3. Root 40 times 6, well, we know that we've got root 40 times 6, just break it down into root 40 times root 6. Root 36 times 2 turned into root 36 times root 2. Root 100 times 3 turned into root 100 times root 3. Root 40 times 6 turned into root 40 times root 6. Root x times y, we can do this, root x times root y. Well, how does that help us with root 50? Let's have a look at this. Root 50, what we need to do is we need to list out all the factors of 50. If you haven't seen my video on how to find factors easily, click on the link in the description to make this a piece of cake. 50, well, we know it's going to be 1 times 50. The next number, 2, 2 times 25. 3, not a factor. 4, not a factor. 5 times 10. 6, not a factor. 7, not a factor. 8, not a factor. 9, not a factor. 10, we've already got. Do the arrow to check we've got them all. Fantastic. So these are the factors of 50. Now what we need to do is we need to look for the biggest square number. Well, 50 isn't a square number. 25, our next biggest number, and also a square number. So we're going to use 25 times 2. Root 50 is root 25 times 2. If you remember the previous step, it was turning this into 2 square roots. Root 25 times 2, break it down. Root 25 times root 2. Well, I can make this simpler for myself, because what is the square root of 25? I know 5 times 5 is 25, so 5 times root 2. And then we can make this even simpler by getting rid of the multiplication sign, just like in algebra. So our final answer, 5 root 2. Let's do another example now. Root 48. First step, list out the factors. So 1 times 48, 2 times 24, it's 3 times 16, 4 times 12, 5 not a factor, 6 times 8, 7 not a factor, 8 over here. Arrow round check, we've got them all. Yup, it's all in size order, it works. Well, now what do? We check the biggest number to see if it's a square number. Is 48 a square number? No. Is 24 a square number? No. Is 16 a square number? Yeah. Which means that we're going to do root 16 times 3. Our step here, break it down. Root 16 times 3, root 16 times root 3. What's the square root of 16? 4 times root 3. 4 root 3. And we've made it simpler because the number in the square root sign is smaller. 48 a bigger number, 3 a simpler number, and so we have simplified it. Let's do one final example. Root 200. First step, list out the factors. 1 times 200, 2 times 100, 3 doesn't go in, 4 times 50, 5 times 40, 6 doesn't go in, 7 doesn't go in, 8 times 25, 9 doesn't go in, 10 times 20, and then 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19 do not go in. So we can do our arrow. They're all in size order, it's looking good. Our next step is that we look for the biggest square number. Well, 200, not a square number. 100 is a square number. This step here, really, really important to do your square number first. So 100 times 2, not 2 times 100. If you do your square number first, your whole life becomes easier. Root 100 times 2. Next step, break it down. Root 100 times root 2. Root 100 10 times root 2. And we don't need the multiplication sign. Our final answer in its simplest form, 10 root 2. That's how we simplify surds. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe.